I just like the sound. I just like the sound.
I love you, Poppy.
Hey, yo, Wavy, where you at, nigga? Yes, sir. Damn, KVHN. Sheesh.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Straight Talk No Chase is back live this wonderful Thursday evening. We got Cosby Digital in the building.
What's good?
We got Kirk Keys in the building.
Yo, and we still got that dumbass feedback, but we here.
We good. We gonna make it work. And I myself, the one and only Trip Simpson, is in the building, mainly because I live here. And we gonna get this grill going. We got a couple things we want to talk about tonight, but before we get into that, Cosby Digital, how was your week?
My week was great, man. A lot of work this week, man. Signed up some new clients this month, so really just getting to the grind. Shout out to Brooklyn. Shout out to Opera. 2 new clients on the team.
Opera Nightclub?
Yeah.
Facts.
Shout out to Straight Dreaming. They had the Easy 1, 2, 3 event on Sunday. You know, it was a really commemorating some great young people in the community. Just been working this week, man. So shit, I barely made it here, and I got to get back to the grind when I'm done with this. So
I don't shine shoes anymore.
Let's get it.
Shout out to everybody who's leveling up.
Facts. Keys, what you got, bro?
My man stole my own event from what I did this week, but yeah, nah. Shout out to the different organizations and partners that we had for Easy 1, 2, 3. That joint was a success. It was on Sunday. We honored Stormaya. We honored Karan. The kids had a good time. Community had a good time. We had all these different breakout groups, you know, gun violence, anti-gun violence, rather, conversation about that, conversation about anti-bullying. We had our podcast who they were having conversations about how do you resolve conflicts and what are you healing from. Those were dope. We had We Fit DC come through and give the young kings a workout, a physical fitness joint for a couple sessions. It was a good time. It was beautiful.
That's a bet, man. Well, I ain't got too much going on. Of course, yesterday we filmed another taping of Friends with the Promoter, brought to you by Straight Talk No Chase Network. It was a very interesting show.
Very.
Shout out to my cousin Jamar. He came through and
Kirk Keys, they both crashed the show yesterday.
I was there. I was polite. I was a gentleman.
he came through and
we gonna refer to the videotape on that.
They definitely made an impression. But nonetheless, it was a great night. Had a good time. For those of you that don't know,
Damn, KBHN. Sheesh.
Friends with the Promoter is our new show that we're doing. We got a group of ladies that we get with every week, and we just talk about shit going on between men and women. Mainly we talk about women, because on this show we talk about women, and there's no women here. So we try to give the women a chance on this show to speak up for themselves and whatnot. And you know, other than that, man, same old Straight Talk No Chase, man. Got a couple things I want to talk about tonight. Which I want to do first, Kanye or Jeezy?
I say Kanye first.
I like Kanye first too. Gets the people going.
Kanye first?
Yeah.
All right. So let me find this video real quick. We're going to do the Kanye thing first. So Kanye West was recently on Hollywood Unlocked with Jason, what's his name? And him and the laptop that he recovered from Ray J came up.
Jay-Z.
I'm slipping. So look, let's take a look at this video and then we'll get into it right after that. Oh shit, hold on.
Meanwhile,
I gotta get
dun, dun, dun. Breaking news.
Technical-
A teacher was found dead in High Point High School. That is so random.
In the school?
In the school.
Was it like a heart attack, overdose? Or like what happened to him?
I don't know. I didn't click into the news. It was breaking. We gotta read the rest.
All right, here we go. I got the video up now. All right, here we go.
You know, how you gonna bring me to SNL and kiss the dude you dating right in front of me? And everybody's like, oh, that's cool. After I went and got the laptop from Ray J myself that night, right? And then got on a red eye. I met this man at the airport, then got on a red eye, came back, delivered it to her at 8 a.m. in the morning. And then I gave it to her and she cried when she saw it. You know why she cried when she seen that laptop? Because it represents how much she's been used. It represents how much people didn't love her and they just saw her as a commodity. You know, how you gonna bring,
I'm gonna play this
you
one
know,
more
how you
time.
gonna bring me to SNL and kiss the dude you dating right in front of me?
Who was she talking
And everybody's like, oh, that's cool.
Talking about his
After
wife,
I went
Kim Kardashian.
and
Nah,
got the
who
laptop
she
from Ray
kissed
J
at the
myself
time?
that
boyfriend.
night, right? And then
Right,
got on a
Pete.
red eye. I met this man at the airport, then got on a red eye, came back, delivered it to her at 8 a.m. in the morning. And then I gave it to her and she cried when she saw it. You know why she cried when she seen the laptop? It's been used. It represents how much people didn't love her and they just saw her as a commodity. You know,
So my question to you guys after watching that video, is Kanye West the ultimate simp?
Is Kanye West the ultimate simp? I think, honestly, Kanye West is just in a emotional, like, lost place right now. You know, I've seen friends go through divorces, and they be fucked up. Like,
Been through a divorce.
they
I was
be,
like,
they be all over the place. Like, now you had your times where shit gets difficult, especially when you got kids involved and you're trying to make sense of the whole thing. So I think he's just living his emotions out on screen in front of everybody because he's a celebrity and he insists on talking about all of his business at every point. So I don't know if he's doing it for sympathy, because I think some of the things he does for sympathy, like he was talking about, like, oh, I ain't get invited to my kid's birthday party, or she's doing this, she's doing that, but you know, it just feels a little like clickbaitish, or just like I'm out crying for attention. Versus, I think if he was really trying to get her back, he would be doing like the real work. But like, that's a behind the scenes thing.
I mean, real work. He did real work. He went and retrieved and paid millions of dollars for a laptop that allegedly had another sex video of her and Ray J on it.
I mean, I'd have let it come out.
I mean, me too. I mean, it's your ex-wife. What do you care?
Yeah, he basically just, and to your title of the said show, is he the ultimate simp? Because we can Google the original sex tape right now. Mm-hmm. So it really can't be any worse than what she did in the first one. So, and now honestly, that put her in a spotlight. So for all time, she would be connected to that sex tape. So, I mean, I understand, you know, they have kids of Googleable age now that be able to look that up, or that might fall into their hands and, you know, they might feel some type of way, but they can look up the old sex tape now. So while I have empathy and sympathy for him going through a divorce, and you know, anytime a family's breaking up, I don't like black kids to be growing up in a broken home. You know what I'm saying? I'm down for family values, so I have empathy and sympathy for him, but he gotta just like talk about some shoes or some clothes or some music. Like, I'm tired of hearing about your life.
I mean, my thing is this. I mean, I'm not even gonna call her a thought, because if anybody's ever seen that videotape, all she did was lay there.
Maybe she got spicy in the new one.
That was the most boring sex tape I've ever seen in my life. Like, honestly,
I don't remember it, but long story short, yes, Kanye is a simp. Because
oh shit, the Kanye stand is
I mean, I tell it like it is. I mean, he's a pretty great person. He does some pretty dope things
for sure.
But at the end of the day, sometimes he takes L's too, and this is one of his L's. Like, even if this is the case and that's everything you did, I don't know why you talking about it publicly. Like Cohen just said, you don't have to make this like.
Well, to Kanye's defense, he didn't bring it up. Like Whack 100 actually started this whole thing. Whack 100 was saying that he saw the. And I'm paraphrasing a little bit because I don't remember the exact conversation that he had, because I saw it a while ago. But he was saying that he had knowledge of this because he saw it on Ray J's laptop. And Whack 100 actually facilitated the deal. I actually think they kind of got Kanye for a couple mil anyway. But, I mean, bottom line is, why would any man stoop this low? Like,
especially when your girl's about to be on SNL with her new dude.
Right. She's running around. She's
like, what did you think?
She's flaunting this weirdo that she's dealing with all in your face. And here you go, Captain Save-A-Ho, hopping on flights trying to retrieve laptops and shit like you Jason Bourne.
Hey, he should have been
taking
like,
red eyes.
If she dies, she dies.
It is what it is. She already got a tape out there. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, whatever. The kid's gonna know she a hoe. It is what it is.
You chose her as your kid's mother knowing it.
You know, I don't get it, man. But that leads us to a bigger conversation.
Let's not gloss over what Kirk just said. He chose her to marry and have children with, knowing what her past was. So at this point, why are you running around catching flights, spending $1 million to shelter them or yourself, your ego, from something that already exists, it's already out there? And especially if it's not a new tape, if it's from the era where they were dating, I mean,
maybe he was trying to keep a new tape secret.
For what? We already know she's on tapes.
It gets spicy.
She's already on tapes, bro.
Yeah, but she's not supposed to be with Ray J now after she's been with Kanye.
But I think it's from the same little fling they
Yeah, I
had.
know I'm playing, but what if that was just the plot twist? You know.
I mean, yeah, maybe it's some other shit on that laptop. But bottom line is, man, it is what it is. But the larger conversation here is, I hope that men are paying attention to this shit, because I think that's the deeper conversation here. This simping has to fucking stop. I think it's clear at this point, at least with modern women, simping has got to be a thing of the past. Because these cutthroat chicks out here today will eat you up and swallow you alive, get pregnant by you on purpose, and take your motherfucking money while you simping that hard.
Yeah.
Any feedback, fellas? I guess we all agree on that.
I mean, it's like you said, it's like, fellas, you got two choices out here right now. Like Tripp said, it's a species of the modern woman that has adapted, frankly, to our fuckery, right? They like, it's evolution, right? That city girls generation has evolved out of our parents and our shit that we've been doing all those years. It's a new breed out there, and if you run into them, like Tripp said, they might even rob you and leave you in a hotel room or drug you like Cardi B.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You don't know what's really going on out there, so you best be on your best behavior. And two, you gotta recognize your position right now, right?
Okay.
This is one thing. A lot of men, they don't recognize their position, right? Let's just use DMV for example. The ratio is about 18-1.
What? The DMV?
Women to men.
In this area?
In this area.
Okay.
Think about when you go out, you see 1 or 2 guys, a group of 5 ladies.
Yeah, that's
2,
because
3
they all
more
single.
guys, yeah, 6 more ladies together, right? When I do events, I market the women for a reason. They the ones here, they the ones with the money, right? So
the money to waste. Black men are busy working and building families and homes.
So if you are a single man, you're more of a commodity than a single woman. Especially you got your stuff together, you got your own. You can have a little rinky-dink apartment. I don't even drive a car, and it's great out here for me. Like, you have to understand what your position is. If you can take care of yourself, you keep yourself up physically, you could be an average dude and run through it if you have confidence in yourself and recognize your position. It's just like insecure women. It's a lot of insecure dudes out here. They trying to find their significance in a woman, so they chasing behind them, they running behind them. Versus you bossing up, you taking care of your business and letting a woman fit into your life, not revolving your life around a woman.
I mean, listen,
Can we get some hand claps?
Yes, I agree totally with that. I don't think in this day and age, honestly, it's not even worth it. And I'm a married man. I'm 38 years old. I'm married. So I'm taking myself out of the equation because I'm not one of the people that wants to apply my fucking life to everyone, right? But from what I observe out here, I wouldn't advise any man under 45 years old to get in any relationships with any of these women right now.
Damn.
If I'm 45 years old, you know, I'm getting a little older at this point. So it's at that point at 45 years old, I probably try to find me like a 28, 29, 30-year-old with some sense.
So basically, don't deal with nobody your age. What you're saying?
I mean, you might as well spend your youth happy. Like these women are giving it up so easily. I mean, why would you even settle that? There's no reason to be a simp. It's no reason to be a simp.
It's not.
For a middle class black male, there's no reason to be a simp because the range is so wide for you. Pause. The range is so wide. I mean, if you make at least $65,000 a year,
niggas who making 35,000 is running through.
Well, that's Pookie Ray Ray status right there. That's $17 an hour.
But I guess technically, at like 21, I was making like 35, and
Yeah, but that was
Life was
20
good.
fucking years ago.
But I'm saying,
we
so a
didn't put it-
21-year-old
we didn't put
right
it-
now, he didn't put an age limit on it. A 21-year-old
age limit.
right now making 35 probably is running through him.
That's a fact. I mean, it just
Yeah, perspective.
We've all been young dealing with older women when we may not have no business dealing with them, but you know, we was in the driver's seat. So.
I mean, but shit, if a young man dealing with an older woman is a sweet deal. I mean, all you have to do is use your youth, bang her out. You know, she'll pay for dinner, buy you clothes. You know what I mean? Put a little something on the phone bill. But I'm talking about for an established grown ass man.
Yeah.
28 to 40. What is the purpose, dog? I mean, just from what I noticed, like just from some of the conversations that we had with some of the ladies, whether it's on the other podcast or whatever, or just out here in general, like these women are not really on, in my opinion, what they should be on. And it's biting them in the ass on the back end. You know, they want to ride the cock carousel from 18 to 35, and then when they're 36, they looking for a good man. Somebody ain't no good men out here. No, it's plenty of good men. You fuck them all.
Hey, but one thing, a lot of the older women, man, like it's funny, right? They're starting to come to the light, right? So what I've been experiencing, a lot of older women, especially who are tuning into the type of man that they want, they're actually starting to listen a little bit, right? And they realize they've made some grave mistakes. And they look back at some of the men that they carried or didn't take serious, who are married with children, who are serious about, you know, living life with them, and they realize they fucked up. And it's a sobering reality that biologically they're up against that clock. Yeah. We don't have that same pressure. We can keep practicing, shooting in the gym, you know what I'm saying, until we perfect our shot. They got to start taking half-court shots.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah, they got to start doing Hail Marys, right? Or come to grips with the fact that the life that they may have wanted in their 20s isn't possible, and they have to start evaluating how they can live their life differently, just based upon the choices that they made, especially the ones who have multiple marriages or have a few children by a few different men. Like they're just resigned to understand, like, okay, my life might be different from this point on.
Yeah, I mean, and just period, like the desperateness, if that's a fucking word, that
Desperateness.
a lot of
desperation.
The desperation.
Or the despair.
The despair that a lot of these modern women are going to these days. Like, for instance, we didn't even get to talk about it last week, but the whole hot sauce in the condom situation with Drake.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you literally have women going in trash cans, turkey basting them damn selves to try and get pregnant by a nigga with a little change. Like, how fucking sad is it out here?
Well, he got a lot of change.
Yeah, but it's like,
But he proven himself to be a simp. That he's susceptible to that though.
nah, actually, first of all, Drake is not a simp for that. To put hot sauce in the
He's
condom.
not saying to do that. He's saying the fact that he was susceptible to it, to where now he needs to put hot sauce in the condom.
I mean, he slipped up.
He learned
That's
his
probably
lesson.
how that one kid came.
He slipped up. I mean, honestly, I'm not even going to penalize Drake for that, because on a normal basis, you can pay a prostitute to have raw sex. I mean, it's a porn star to have raw sex with you. They do it all the time. That's what they do for a living. So the fact that she went rogue and really kind of broke that porn star prostitute trust, that really says a lot about her and her character. Because for the most part, you can pay one of these porn stars extra money for raw sex. All you gotta do is go get tested, show your results. She'll show hers, you fuck, and that's it.
No, but he let it lay. He let it stay in.
I mean,
If you mess with hitting a
Yeah.
porno star, you supposed to go porno style. They yada.
you never heard of a cream pie?
Yeah, but you don't cream pie on the first date.
It wasn't a date. She's a porn star.
Who knows
now-
if it was the first?
Now she's a baby mother.
Yeah. She said, fuck this porn life.
Yeah. That is a L he will have to put on his mantelpiece next to the Grammy.
West Coast Productions ain't paying that much.
Oh, Pusha T gave him the biggest L. We might still not know about his son if it wasn't for Pusha T.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think we would.
Kudos to you,
When
Pusha.
you living life like that, you're not supposed to beef with people. Keep your secrets.
I mean, honestly, if I was Drake, I wouldn't even been embarrassed. First of all, he got the money to pay the child support. It ain't like he was married to her, so it ain't no spousal support. You pay this chick for another 14 years, and then he'd be all right.
Nah, that actually probably made him be a better father. He probably wasn't even seeing the damn kid. Now that everybody know, they're like, where your kid at, bro? where your man's in them at? But look, actually, I give credit to Soulja Boy too. With you're hiding the world from the kid hiding from the world. Drake.
Nah, but I mean, but seriously though, like
out
honestly,
Soulja.
what I find really ridiculous about that whole situation though is that none of your feminist warriors came out and said anything about this shit. No one came out and made and had anything to say about this woman trying to impregnate herself from a used condom.
I don't know what you be expecting from these women when these women do these weird things.
I mean, I just like the point. I'm keeping score.
I know.
The hypocrisy is at an all-time high, and I just like to point it out. And I think,
is it a hypocrisy if their mission isn't to point out their flaw? Their mission is to point out the certain,
no, I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm saying, you looking for like the Me Too movement, all this other type stuff. Their mission is to point out when those women are crossed. Their mission ain't to point out when like men get crossed too, or when
I'm
they're
just saying the
attempted to get
everyday
crossed.
average woman.
So I'm saying you looking for something that you're never going to actually get it.
The everyday average woman who you arguing with on Instagram or Facebook in the comment section, right? Who has all of this shit to say about men, how fucked up men are. I
think them average women was still in the Facebook comments talking.
No, I heard absolutely nothing from any of these women about this woman trying to impregnate herself. No. I did hear a few women say that was fucked up. Why would he do that? Why would he do that?
Ain't nobody say that. You be skewing the results.
I'm not
I heard
skewing
both, bro.
Hey, look, he is what you call, ladies and gentlemen, Trip Simpson is what you call a gaslighter. He will put you on the coals very quickly. Lighter fluid, light you up. Because I did see women talking about it like, damn, it's
I saw
like it's that hard, like it's that hard out here that women trying to do that. But why would they go? They not gonna cape for a hoe.
Why is it that hard out here for y'all though? That's the question. Why is it that hard?
I explained it earlier. The odds are forever not in their favor at this point. So again, that's a Hunger Games tactic.
The problem is
but
they spend so much time trying to be on both sides of the fence. You know what I mean? You spend so much time trying to be like a man, and then when you're faced with those circumstances, i.e. the financial part of it, you can't handle it. So you resort to those type of measures.
It's a product of the culture right now, right? Girls like that are clout chasing, happy to be with a rapper. That's not new, right? That's not a new thing. That try to get pregnant by the star. That's been going on since the times of James Brown, and you know what I'm saying? Michael Jackson made a song about it. Girls, Billie Jean. You know what I'm saying? So this is not a new concept. It's just being adapted by a new generation. You know what I'm saying? And because this is the internet, Instagram generation, doing something for clout is at an all-time high. Just her even putting that out, even though it made her look bad and she still put it out, it still gave her clout. It gave her attention. Look, we talking about it right now.
The worst part is she's trying to sue this nigga now.
So, but it's all about her come up, right? And unfortunately, she's gonna come up off of this.
Yeah, but who's gonna get the back end of that? See, this is my only issue with women, and most specifically the women in my community, black women. Y'all don't check this piss poor behavior. Y'all brush it off and act like it's nothing. But the more and more these stories keep coming out, the less prominent or decent black men are going to even want to deal with y'all because of shit like this.
I mean,
This is not. I mean, it's a strike against you at the end of the day.
I think women with shit to do is not wasting time like going out there and dressing stuff like this, right? I think we got to get that out there. Like every woman that I like,
Agreed.
that I respect, like I respect their opinion. They don't waste time talking about gossip, right? If it's an issue that really affect our community, like a pop star trying to get trapped, that's probably happening every weekend. So that ain't really. I'm not putting that on the community. The women need to go out and condemn. No, it's like this is some everyday shit.
And nobody even knows who this woman is. Her name, like where she from.
We just on the internet.
Nobody even know if it's real, if it really happened.
I mean, you saying we're just on the internet, but everybody's on the internet all day long, every day.
Did we confirm that this actually even happened?
I mean, Drake didn't confirm it.
That's what I'm saying. So,
but he didn't deny it. He didn't deny it. I think it happened.
So I don't like, I think it's messed up, but I don't expect women to go out there and have picket signs condemning this young lady because she already looked dumb as fuck. It would feel like pile on at that point.
It ain't pile on. It needs to be pile on, man. Like we have to make examples out of people who embarrass the community because we can't afford any more of this. We can't afford it.
So what do you think the consequences of ramifications should be for her?
Electric chair. No, I'm kidding. The ramifications, she should be shunned and made fun of, and the fact that anyone would want to turkey base themselves into having a baby, right, should be something that women condemn. Like that, it's wrong on so many levels. I don't even know where to start. Like the fact that you would intentionally take a baby that you know is unwanted because the sperm is in a condom. You took it out of the condom and put it in your vagina to try to have a baby, to try to have an out of wedlock marriage on purpose for money. That's kind of like child abuse.
You sound so shocked.
I mean, I'm not shocked. I'm just saying, like, this is a problem and it needs to be addressed. That's all.
It's messing up the community.
Hooray to Trip Simpson, the morality police. You need a fucking new sound to hear that. Woo, woo, woo. No, he need the Eddie Murphy one. Woo, woo, woo.
I'm gonna save this community one podcast at a time.
Give him the firefighter sound.
Woo, 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 woo. Yeah, you need a fire. You need the fire truck.
On the way to save the community from the fire.
Dur, dur, dur.
Y'all niggas some haters, man. Y'all some stone cold haters. But it's all good. So look, let's get into this next topic.
I feel like this shit. Tonight's show feels like Hollywood Unlocked. It's a bunch of fucking gossip and rumors. What happened to us talk about some real topics? We need somebody text something on the Facebook or somebody text me.
Hey.
We need a real topic to talk about, not fucking.
Why was the Lakers 24-24 and the 8th seed on Kobe's 24th month anniversary?
It must have something to do with the Illuminati. I don't know. Gematria or something like that. I don't know.
I thought it was the tarot cards.
I didn't even know that. I honestly,
that was kind of freaky though when I saw that.
Yeah.
I never even saw it.
Yeah. It was 24-24 in the 8th seed.
And the 8th seed.
That's a code. Another celebrity is about to die.
2 years into his death. 24 months.
Damn. 24 months.
On the anniversary. On the exact 24 month anniversary.
24-24.
The 8th seed.
I wouldn't have minded if I saw them use the Illuminati videos after that. I like, hey, you might got something there.
Man.
All my numerology folks, yeah, that's the one you keep. You save that one for a few years. You can run with that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, Dan Juice Man Meyer says, what are our thoughts on the new DC mandate? Did we go over that already?
Yeah, we talked about it in the last show, but it was like right before it happened. And now we've experienced it a little bit. So we got in the Cosby show without having the joint.
I mean,
shout out to
joint.
Union. They was not checking no vax cards. It wasn't checking nothing.
I got in there eating but they said they was going to start checking it the next week. They just wasn't checking it like the first couple days. They literally said that they like next
I don't
week
shine shoes
you're
anymore.
gonna have to have it, but today we'll let you in.
So look, Trip, I feel like we gotta address Trip Simpson's theory that it was going to be like a drastic effect. So I did a Hidden Palette event, right? And we mandated vaccinations, still sold out. Only had to turn one person away. It's from Baltimore. You know, Baltimore, they don't want to follow no rules. She's like, you don't have to show nothing in Baltimore. Wow. Nobody told me. I was like, ma'am, it's in the email. I didn't see that. But it's all right. You know what I'm saying? So 100 people sold out. Everybody had the vaccination card. So
I mean, I'm pretty sure there was some fake cards in the building.
Constant pessimist.
I mean, it probably is though.
Could be.
Well, first of all, this is what a lot of people don't know, right? You don't even need a vaccination card to get in a restaurant. If you read the fine print, it clearly says
All you need is a religious
all you need is
exemption
a statement
that says
right?
you're exempt.
that says for religious or medical reasons you cannot take the vaccine and a negative test within 24 hours, and you don't have to follow the mandate. You can go in any of these places.
Does a business have a right to refuse you?
No. If you can produce those
It
documents.
literally says they can't because of that.
Okay.
And
Because
9
there are
times out of
people-
10, they're not gonna refuse.
And here's the thing why. Because there are people here who really can't get the vaccine.
Oh, that's a fact.
And so you can't keep those people out. That's discrimination. You'll have a lawsuit on your ass. So why would the business refuse? They don't want that lawsuit.
The bottom line is it's a bullshit mandate in the first place. It's already a fact that the fucking vaccine don't work. It doesn't prevent anything.
We gonna get that label under our video for this.
Yeah.
I
Don't even go too far. It don't even matter.
Shit, we ain't monetized yet anyway.
Dan
So it
set
don't
us
matter.
up. Dan, you set us up, bro.
I'm gonna bring this shit up on
Let's
the
make it so
Podcast.
nobody can watch this.
We gonna get the whole the QAnon label. We about to get all that.
Hey, look, we'll refer to the V shot as the pretzel store. So anyway, I mean, look, the bottom line is it's a waste of time.
Have you researched it? Did it affect the rate of infection for Omicron or just infection in general? Have you done any statistics before you said it's a waste of time?
The CDC has already said that.
I'm asking you about Washington
I don't need to
D.C.'s
say-
mandate.
The
Have
fucking-
you done any research in the statistics? Has it made it go up? Has it made it go down? Has it had a net effect? Do you know if it's had any
It's
effect?
been in effect for a week, bro. A week.
So the answer is no.
The answer is hell no. Of course I haven't done any research.
So just for the sake of the viewers, just go look for yourself, because DC puts out a daily, weekly, monthly report on the number of cases in districts. So you can extrapolate some data from that based upon the mandate. Is it helping? It could be hurting. You know what I'm saying? But just find out for yourself.
I mean, the bottom line is that we all know for a fact at this point that it does not
No, we
work.
don't. No, we don't. Know
The
that.
C-
No, we don't know that.
The people that you said, the scientists that you
we
said we
don't
should
know
trust,
that. No,
said
we
it
don't.
doesn't work.
So what?
One-
I know. What
one of the designers,
what exactly are you
Dr.
saying?
Malone, one of the designers of the goddamn potion,
So what does
one of the designers of the potion
What exactly
came out
doesn't
and
work?
said, say what?
What exactly about it doesn't work?
I would pretty much say the whole goddamn thing.
Does it lessen people being hospitalized and dying?
There's no evidence to produce that.
They're actually
Trip,
it's
I
plenty.
just sent you a video.
it's
If you could
plenty-
play that video, we should make that the root of this
It's
discussion
plenty.
right
It's
here.
plenty of evidence.
I don't know how you get it up to play.
Have you have any sources?
Hold on.
that
Kirk,
don't-
airdrop it to my iMac.
Do you have any sources to say that it doesn't work? Because I have sources that says that even though people are still getting infected, the amount of people dying or becoming seriously ill is significantly less in the vaccinated population than the unvaccinated
But
population.
That within itself is not true, especially if you go with the DC numbers, because I've screenshotted the mayor's reports from the last 2 months, right? Every day she comes out, they list, 1,500 new infections, 1,300 new infections, 2,000 new infections, right? But when you go under hospitalizations and deaths, it's all low. And that's between vaccinated and non-vaccinated. It's all low. It'd be like one death. to hospitalization.
Have you actually compared the numbers of vaccinated versus unvaccinated in terms of people dying? And yes, I have. That's why I'm just gonna ask again. Seriously hospitalized.
Give me
What are the numbers since you have?
So once again, my folks out there, if you like to do your own research, look up the correlation between vaccinated and unvaccinated.
And then tell us
people who are getting seriously ill and dying. The numbers of people who are seriously ill and dying in the vaccinated population versus the numbers of people who are getting seriously ill and dying in the unvaccinated population, and come to your own conclusion.
So I'll put it to you like this. The CDC just last week came out with a report, right? A study that showed people with previous infections, right, had more protection than people who are vaccinated.
Yeah, your body produces way more antibodies from the actual disease than a simulation of the disease or insertion of the disease in your body. So of course that's science fact.
So recognizing that off the break, right? Off the break, recognizing that if you've been infected with it, you have a better chance of fighting the virus not vaccinated.
But what if you haven't been infected by it?
Then you'll get it. You'll have a little cough and sneeze for a couple of days and go back about your life.
Or die, depending on which one you get.
You could die from anything. See, that's that bullshit. If you look at this whole Omicron era of the COVID shit, right? No one has been dying like that.
So what? So while this strain is definitely less lethal than Delta or the original strain, I'm not debating that at all, right? But I've even just seen an instance where someone passed away in a district. They had a pre-existing condition that they didn't know about, right? Heart issue they didn't know about. So for you would contract it and it'll be a sneeze and a cold and, you'd be all right versus someone who has an underlying condition they didn't know about and it attacks that part of their body and they pass away. So it's not about, are we trying to compare, we understand at this point that contracting the virus is detrimental to your system. And if you're vaccinated and you have a pre-existing condition, you have a booster shot, you have a exponentially higher chance of not getting seriously ill and dying. We're no longer talking about contracting or spreading the virus.
Okay.
We understand that, especially the Omicron, vaccination has not kept that from spreading.
So here's my question to you.
But we also understand that it has prevented more seriously ill people and deaths among the vaccinated people.
So here's the thing then.
And I'm not saying anything else about this.
If you're seriously ill or have a pre-existing medical condition, sorry. If you have a pre-existing medical condition, right? By all means, if you think your best course of action is to go get the vaccine, go and get it. But to mandate people who are healthy and who do not have pre-existing conditions is an infringement on people's rights. There's nothing wrong with me. I should not have to go out and get an injection that I don't approve of. I'm a healthy person. I've had the virus. It was nothing. I had the sniffles for a day. I was sipping Don Julio 70 and smoking hookah for the whole 14 days. And this was the original strain I caught. I don't need no vaccine. Besides that, my religious beliefs also conflict with the vaccine. So I shouldn't have to get it. That's all I'm saying. Mandating things is unnecessary and it's an infringement on people's rights.
So why haven't you moved out of America yet? Because they've been mandating vaccinations for the last what 70?
There's never been a mandate on vaccinations besides this vaccination.
So the mandate comes where you are limited access to things based upon your vaccination status or unvaccination status. Like we have some world travelers here, right? Certain countries and things you can't
you're
enter.
You're pro-mandate.
It's certain countries you cannot enter if you don't have vaccinations. unless you're like in the Sikh community or some weird private school that your kids go to, or you homeschool, your kids have to be vaccinated before they go to school.
That's false. That's false.
So I gave the caveats of when your kids don't have to be vaccinated. But if your kids go to a school that mandates vaccinations, your kids have to get vaccinated before they go to school. Unless you're some
that is not true.
Okay. Unless you make some type of exemption when your kids are born, right?
You don't have to do it when they're born. If you don't want your kid to get vaccinated in school, all you have to do is fill out a form and say, I don't want blah, 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 blah. I'm asking for an exemption.
That's all you have to do.
Yeah, so I did not give the caveat.
Okay, so
you can do that for everything.
But my stance is that the whole point of what I'm talking about is vaccination mandates have existed within our society.
Bro, they can't come into a place
But listen,
of
real quick.
They said you can't come into the school.
No, they don't, bro. You can fill out an exemption and easily bring your kid into school. That's something very simple. What they're doing right now, as far as saying like, hold on, can you stop cutting me off, please? Can you stop cutting me off, please? Can you stop cutting me off, please?
I'm listening.
Is there an exemption to get in a restaurant?
The point is, the fact that they're saying you have to get this or you cannot come in unless you have this exemption thing is not something that they've ever done historically.
You just said that you could do that for the school.
And the school is the only place, number one. And then number two, it's not even as strenuous a process as they're making it right now, as far as your job, as far as a restaurant, as far as going out and living in society.
Yeah,
we're talking about society versus just going to school.
It's never been a global pandemic dealing with a
There's been
disease
plenty
like
of global pandemics.
And there still
and guess what? They made people get vaccinated.
And honestly, there still isn't even numbers wise a real global pandemic, bro. Numbers wise.
That's another
media.
QAnon label we're about to get.
That's not QAnon.
Label
you can't
number
call
2.
everything that you disagree with QAnon. That's
Exactly,
not fair,
bro. Like, let's be real with numbers, bro.
So what
percent? How many people died?
The virus has a 99 point.
You keep overlooking that.
99.73 survival rate pre-vaccine. The vaccine survival rate is lower than the actual survival rate. That is a fact.
Hold on, say that one more time.
The vaccine's survival rate that they promoted, right?
The vaccine survival rate. What does that mean?
The vaccine gives you a 94% chance of survival or some shit like that. But the actual virus is 99.7.
So what you're saying is that someone who's unvaccinated has a better chance of surviving catching COVID-19 than someone's vaccinated.
According to the drug companies.
No, I'm asking you.
For more
That's what you're
clarity,
saying?
for more clarity, what that actually means is you're getting something that isn't giving you any higher of a chance of surviving.
So you're saying it's
not saying
so you're saying it's equal.
Basically, yeah. That's exactly what we're saying. And that's also clear based on what's happening in society.
All right.
You talking about, all right, like this isn't clear, bro.
Y'all gotta stand on
I
those.
will stand on that. That's clear. There's no question.
Here's the thing.
And the fact that the joint says 94% in the first place means we're not increasing your chance because you have a 99.7% chance in the first place. So giving you a 94 is just saying, here, shoot this shit up to just shoot your shit up.
And all the reports that came out, right?
And that's why people are still getting sick.
75%.
You weren't supposed to get sick when they first started. You weren't supposed to get sick. You know that, right? Don't say you don't, because you do. And then they moved the needle after people still got sick, and they continue to do that over and over and over again. And you just cool with it, acting like we making up shit.
I mean, you
ain't told us a number yet. All you said is when we asked you, don't hold on because I'm talking now. When we asked you what research you did, you said you did research, and all you said so far was what? People who want to go do their own research should look up, and told them what to look up, but you ain't told what research you found that said any number that was any different than any numbers that we've given you. Where's the numbers?
Next he's gonna say,
have you researched?
You don't know science. That's what it means next.
I can definitely. I just like when people make declarative statements like, really stand what you said on. Like you said, all right, it's an equal chance whether you're vaccinated or unvaccinated. Your rate of survival is equal.
It's been proven.
You said
how many people been vaccinated and still died? Hank Aaron had a better chance got vaccinated and died to the drug a month later.
I just wanted this to be on camera, and I'm cool. I don't got to say anything else about it.
Here's a fun fact: the CDC came out 2 weeks ago and said, based on their study of the data, 75% of the people who died from COVID-19 were over the age of 70 and had at least 4 comorbidities on top of that.
What does comorbidity mean?
A disease that's like
multiple other things that you have, illnesses, other illnesses that you have wrong.
So fuck the old people who said this.
I'm not saying fuck the old people.
That's kind of like what you said.
I'm not saying that, but
them
I'm
old niggas the ones that's dying.
But hold up,
grandma, great auntie,
old people,
grandma, great auntie, great uncle. You on your own, motherfucker.
Older people are more susceptible to die anyway from anything.
Yeah, definitely a global pandemic disease. Yep, it ran through the nursing home like death. Chop, 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 taking them niggas out. So, you heard what he said, Grandma. I feel sorry for you, Trip Simpson getting charged. So you got heart disease,
play this video.
hypertension.
Matter of fact,
you gotta airdrop it to me.
You out of here.
I tried, it won't come up.
You out of here.
Airdrops ain't on.
Damn, Grandma, you in trouble.
Grandma gonna be all right.
Grandma, you in trouble.
Shit, my grandparents had it. And they had the sniffles for you. They both in their 90s, had the sniffles for a couple of days. They OGs. I mean, they went and got vaccinated too. After they already had it. But I mean, it is what it is at this point. The numbers are out. The truth is out there. And the scientists that we're supposed to trust keep backtracking on all their previous statements. And that is a fact. Everyone that you guys say we should listen to about this virus has backtracked.
Yeah, it's called scientific method.
No, it's called you the fucking scientific method. You the fucking scientific method.
That's exactly what it's called.
It's called
the scientific method, but you are the method.
It's not the Republican version of science where if I was wrong,
You're right. It's the Democratic version. It's like, let's shoot all our citizens up with the shit.
I'm just gonna stand on it.
That makes sense.
Even though I'm wrong, I'm just gonna double down on it. That's the Republican version.
Who's
of
currently
science.
doing that though?
Who's wrong?
Who's currently doing it? The Democrats.
The Democrats were wrong, and they're doubling down.
That's the crazy part
wrong.
is y'all, when Republicans are in office, y'all like Republicans doing this, Republicans doing that, Republicans did this, and then when the Democrats get in office and do the same shit, you act like it's still the Republicans. That's crazy too.
It's just like last week when we talked about the fucking gerrymandering.
This shit is legit
and I brought
insanity.
up the fact that the DC government is gerrymandering its own citizens right now. Oh, nothing to say. They all fucked up.
It was definitely something to say, but anywho, I don't subscribe to the Republican version of science where even if you're wrong, if you say inject bleach, if you say it's clonazepam, all the shit they come up with, right? And then once it gets debunked, they just double down on it. Versus the true scientific method, you report on based upon results. You do research, you do studies, right? It's called a hypothesis. You make your best guess based upon the information that you have available. If that turns out to be wrong based upon the research, you can then not stand on that research that you cited before just because that's what you said. You have to move forward based upon your research and findings. What you like to do is like to cite the CDC. The CDC put out this report this week. CDC put out that report that week. That's based upon the scientific method of learning, understanding, and studying a fast-moving global pandemic that has many variants, many factors in many different places. So if they get some stuff wrong, trying to figure out the right answer, so be it. I still want them to strive forward to get the right answer.
Okay, but here's the thing. Hey, Kirk, put my phone right next to
Hold his beer. He ready to go.
Look, here's the thing, right? While I understand the route you're trying to take, what you're not taking into account is that
methods by which the goal is pursued.
Whenever
a government claims to have the people's interest at heart.
Hold on, I'm gonna upload it into the system. I got you.
To think again. In the entire history of mankind,
I'm gonna upload it into the system. I got you, Kurt.
Do your thing. You can also just play the sound though right there. That's what I'm playing. Yeah, we don't need the video. Screw the video.
All right,
I can tell you who it is. That's Christine Anderson from the European Parliament talking a couple months ago about everything that's going on right now.
Okay, and you airdropped it to me, right?
Yeah, you were just playing it. Just hit play. Right. Or that wasn't on the sound. Was it on the sound?
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it.
To have the people's interest at heart, you need to think
that shit from
again.
The beginning. That's not the beginning.
In the entire history of mankind, whenever a government claims to have the people's interest at heart, you need to think again. In the entire history of mankind, There has never been a political elite sincerely concerned about the well-being of regular people. What makes any of us think that it is different now? If the age of enlightenment has brought forth anything, then certainly this. Never take anything any government tells you at face value. Always question everything any government does or does not do. Always look for ulterior motives and always ask, cui bono, who benefits? Whenever a political elite pushes an agenda this hard and resort to extortion and manipulation to get their way, you can almost always be sure your benefit is definitely not what they had at heart. Whenever a government claims to have the people...
Okay, and
Yeah, that's good right there.
that was definitely a great
The
clip.
whole
I mean,
point of what we talking about right now. Like, you know who is winning out of this, and that's the pharmaceutical industry. You know how they're winning out of this. You see it.
I mean, you can look at the profits that they've made
Exactly.
over the past 2 years. I don't even know how this is even still an issue.
How is it even still a question? Like an issue? Like, how can you not see through all of this?
I mean, there have been countless things that have come out that will prove to you that this jab don't work. It don't work. Your natural immunity is the thing that works.
Let's take 2 examples. Let's say we know, let's take the things that we know factually, and this wasn't even supposed to be the conversation today, but let's take the things that we know factually. If we know factually this joint was created, if we know this joint was created in a lab, if we know this joint was supposed to be like tested on some bats, they was doing some trials with some crazy science shit that they be doing, and whether it's 2 potentials that aren't yet known facts, I guess, and that is whether somebody intentionally leaked the shit out of the lab so that it can get everybody sick, or it accidentally left the lab and got everybody sick.
And we know
either
for a
way,
fact Fauci lied about it.
yeah, either way, we know A, they lied about it. We know B, if that's the case, they hadn't finished testing to know what the solution is. And then C, they're promoting you a bunch of solutions that they aren't 100% sure of. So you are literally the test to figure out how they resolve the issue or the problem that they actually intended to make. It's either or. But either way, you know they ain't got the answers. And so you sitting here trusting your body in somebody else's hands to figure out the answers, like you don't know what's going to happen long term from the effects of these things that they're putting into you. I just think that's crazy.
The funny part is,
Hold on. I want to
no.
address that first.
Hold up. I have something to say.
Y'all niggas don't take medication?
No. Because
You one of those people that don't take medication?
Hold on.
No pills?
I don't not
anything?
take medication based off of a global pandemic, short notice.
Let me answer that question. Most medications and vaccines that come out that are approved by the FDA take decades before they can actually be put on the public. Okay? So when we were talking about earlier about mandates for kids going to school and all that shit, the chickenpox vaccine took over 20 years before it was put on the market because they had to test it, they had to see the long-term effects. There was a lot of shit that you had to check before you just put it on the market.
And
Who the fuck died from the chickenpox?
Hold the fuck
and
up.
that's the crazy part. Nobody, or did they? That's the thing. I always
Who was
wonder
dying
that.
from the
Because
chickenpox?
I had chickenpox and I was fine. Let people itch.
Well,
That was the
Who was
case.
dying from the
But
chickenpox?
here's
Let's
the
go
thing.
to-
But on
no.
the back end,
Let's
what I
go to
was going to say,
polio.
no, hold on. I don't even want to leave that fact yet because what I was going to say is there's a question mark here. You just said who was dying from chickenpox. I agree. Nobody was. But they had to come out with a vaccine for it. And the fact that they've come out with a vaccine for it, and it's still, after the 20 years of research and study that they did, questions of whether or not that joint is a cause for autism amongst black boys. We can sit here and say that it's been debunked and all of that, but no, it hasn't. And white people are the ones who are telling you it's debunked, because why would they tell you they fucking up our black boys? They wouldn't. So you can sit, I don't even want to hear that argument from any fool.
crazy thing is
I wasn't about to make an argument.
The numbers say
against what you
autism
were
is
saying.
up 300%
Since
the
that
70s.
joint came out. And so what I'm
So
saying
I wasn't
is-
about to come on here and argue against autism.
I feel you. Whether you do it, whether you
With
don't,
that,
that's cool.
so-
I'm not done. I wasn't done. So what? So yeah. Forgot what I was about to say because of that. But either way, my point is, I know for a
I'm not
fact. I know my
finished.
point. Yeah. I mean, I
But I'm
wasn't. You
finished.
cut me off. But nah, my point. Y'all niggas funny. My point is, at the end of the day, we don't know whether or not that is a cause or not a cause to autism, but we do know that the numbers have gone up since that joint came out in autism with black boys, and we do know that's still a question mark and still being researched. So with all the research that went into that, and people weren't even dying from that, and they still felt the need to come out with it, you still trust the short-term joint that you have now that has way less research, that's going into way more people, that can mess way more people up way faster.
And let's forget about the $33 billion that they made in the first couple months.
So let's
forget about it.
I'm saying.
So let's just address one thing. So the technology from 25 or 30 years ago.
Bro, there's no technology in the world that can predict
It's
long-term
science.
effects
We keep talking
on a
about
drug that
science.
has not been tested long-term.
Y'all keep trying
So
to
are
make
we going?
science.
So are we gonna do the no cutting off thing, or you just gonna jump in before you even know what I was gonna say?
Go ahead, technology boy.
Is that what you're gonna?
He can't
what was
even fix his
I
camera.
graduated
So what
from
was I? Hold on. So what was I gonna say about the technology?
Go ahead.
Continue. Okay. All right. So just to address like why something took longer and why something is shorter. Now it's like the technological advances that we have. We were researching polio and chickenpox in the 60s, 70s, 80s. We are light years ahead. We didn't really have computers to help us with research during those times in terms of what we needed to do to advance medicine. If you look at the advances of medicine in the last, let's say, 7 years, diseases that they thought would be uncurable. You're talking about HIV/AIDS. You're talking about certain cancer treatments. You're talking about things that in the 80s were death sentences now could be treated by a pill, right? And in one sense, in America, we are trusting in medical technology. We're trusting in certain things. But then when the water gets muddied a little bit, we're like, oh, we don't know what we're putting in our bodies. We don't trust this thing. We don't. But only in this instance, when there was all of these other instances of technological advances
That's not
helping out humankind. Let's just use Viagra, for example, right? And Cialis, right? They'll tell you on the commercial.
That shit was on the market for years as a blood pressure medicine.
You don't even know what I'm talking about. Stop cutting me off. I'm good? I'm good? Okay. They'll show you all of the side effects on the television. They'll give you 17 side effects.
And they play
for it.
nice music.
Yeah.
Beautiful
And the
videos.
man he will say, is it gonna get my dick hard? Yes. Give it to me. And no second thought to long-term cardiovascular health,
You wanna know
headaches, baldness. What is it? They say your ass might fall out the bottom. Niggas didn't give a fuck, right?
At least they told you.
Can I tell you why?
And they tell you. So in this country, I see when something gets politicized, people get up in arms. But doing your everyday life, you take a bunch of shit that's been tested, researched, fast tracked.
Bro, it's
all
still,
of these
the
things
difference-
that I'm
still
not finished
under
talking.
emergency
I'm not
au-
finished.
it's
I'm
still
not
under
finished
emergency
talking.
use.
I'm not finished talking.
Yes.
I'm not finished talking. You have the floor after I'm finished. So I would say people just pay attention to things you do in your everyday life and stop politicizing your medicine when you really haven't done this before
So
in
the
your life.
difference is the Cialis and Viagra example is a quarter of men going to go holler at that nobody's mandating, nobody's making you take. You have a choice. You can, if you want to go do that and kill yourself, you choosing to go do that and kill yourself. What we're talking about right now is somebody mandating something and making me go do something that could kill me that I am not opting in to do.
Who has made you do it? No one has been made to take the vaccine. You may be
There's a
excluded some
mandate.
activities that you want to participate in, but no one has made you
Like living in
like
society
going to a
because you
restaurant.
can't even have your job anymore. Your job made you.
Yeah, it's not your.
Yeah,
It's
so
not
now
your
you can't
job.
participate in
If
a
you got
job.
your- if
You can't
got your-
participate in society. They're trying to block you out of society, bruh. Don't try to act like a mandate means something different all of a sudden. They want everybody to get it. And
No,
they're
you
going
said-
any means possible to make everybody get it.
So let's
don't
not
try to
let's
redirect
not,
what the fuck is
let's
going
not
on,
mince-
because that's
let's
just
not mince
crazy.
words. Nobody makes you do anything.
Exactly, and that's why people ain't got the vaccine.
You can sit
I don't
right
have a
in, you can
vaccine,
sit
but they're
in your
still
house.
trying.
You can sit in your house, go to the restaurants that allow you
So
to have
again,
it. You can
you're
go.
talking,
you can
talking bullshit
homeschool.
right now.
You
The
can
point
home-
is,
you can
Cialis and
homeschool.
Viagra
You
and
can home.
the
You can
mandate are two
homeschool your.
complete different
You can
things.
homeschool your child if you
It's
don't.
optional versus
you can,
going to
you
go
can
do
homeschool
something
your
that they're making
child
you
if
do.
you don't want to participate.
So then you
in
just
that
complained
particular
about being
school
cut off
system.
and you just cut this
If
man
you-
off.
No, he tried to.
No, I didn't
he
try
tried
to. You were
overtalk
done,
me,
and so
I'm
I
gonna
talked.
keep talking.
I didn't try to overtalk you. You were done, so I talked.
So So what I'm saying is, no, I was saying no one can make you do anything. No one has said.
Y'all see how the
if
Democrats
no one,
roll, right?
No one has said you have to take this vaccine.
Yes, they do.
No, they did not. They
Your
said
job is called your livelihood.
If
for
you
a
would
reason.
like to participate,
I'm going to cut off your livelihood if you don't take this medicine.
This nigga
The
be
fuck
tripping,
you talking-
bro.
So one
This
thing
shit sounds so
y'all gotta
stupid.
understand: when y'all live in society, you sign up for a social construct, right? When you
No,
decide,
I
when
did not- I didn't sign up for anything when I was
Yeah,
born.
you do. When
I didn't
you
sign shit.
When you decide, I eat Trip Simpson, I want to work for the government, right? It's stuff that comes with that. If you was a fucking a logger out in the woods, they ain't give a fuck. You ain't gonna have to get mandated a vaccine because you chop wood all day.
Do you understand
And you
that-
deliver
that-
wood.
that-
So
there
you
was a
supposed to
me-
you supposed to
The
bail
fact
me
that
for
this
that.
nigga makes
private
excuses.
sector was affected by
The
this
fact that this
too.
nigga makes
You supposed-
excuses
you
for
supposed
his
to bail-
oppressors is the
you
wildest
supposed to-
shit.
you was supposed to bail
Just
me for
take
that.
note of that. Make sure when you take
You
note
ain't what
about
I
when we
said.
talk about the people that was dying from the pandemic and all that, make sure that people take note that you make excuses for your oppressors. Make that clear, because that's what this is. I just
So
want to make that clear. The
I
people who have never fucked
you-
with you historically in this country are mandating people that you supposedly love to do things that could harm them, and you just make excuses for it. You don't even acknowledge that that's fucked up. You make excuses for it. That's what I want you to highlight. I hope everybody listening knows that that's what this nigga does right here.
So,
Like, that's
does
what that
the
is.
pandemic only kill black people?
It kills everybody, but who
I'ma
cares
tell you,
about? Who cares? Like, I'm gonna be real. Who cares?
It's an equal opportunity killer. So this
But
is
yeah,
not,
but the thing
so
is, the
hold
government
on,
don't
this-
care about people in general.
This is not
that
about
that
this
video
is
that
not
just got played didn't say black or white people. It said the government. What I'm saying is, I care about my people specifically, so I don't even care about talking about them. So I will talk about myself. You want us to talk about white people too? I ain't think that's what this show is about, because that's not what y'all promote when you talk about anything else. So I'm talking about our people. But yes, when we are talking about what this joint is killing everybody. But since when does the government care a fuck about people? That's what that video just said. That woman just said. That white woman just said. Governments don't care about people. Political elite do not care about
But
people.
she's not
is
that,
what it said.
She's not that smart though, right?
Okay.
So the government,
Because she's not smarter
so
than you.
the
She
government
part of
does
the
care
European
about
Parliament.
people. The government
Now
does.
the government cares about people?
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
So, hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we call the Republican filibuster. Because I didn't get to say what my point was. I just
didn't
said
either.
the government cares about. Oh my God! So what was I gonna say, Trip Simpson?
You just said the government cares about people.
That's not what I didn't elaborate what I was gonna say. So what was I gonna say?
Go ahead, say what you was going to say, bro.
So the government cares about people when it's in their best interest. The government cannot function without people. If there's no people to govern, there's no government. So when it comes to infectious diseases, when it comes to war, when it comes to things that will wipe out your population, the government has to care because it's in its own self-preservation.
But McDonald's is still in business.
I'm not
0.3%.
I'm not finished talking.
0.03%.
So we just gonna keep jumping in? Is that what we
Yeah, that's what you do.
0.03.
there we go.
Wiping out
That's
your
we go.
wiping out your
We gonna
population.
complain about it and do it. So, why?
You
That's
don't
why.
get to just do it and then get mad when niggas do it to you.
Yeah, you can, because y'all do the same thing. You
can't stand this nigga in his colorful glasses,
They don't
man.
like the Republican filibuster when it's put back on them. They don't like it.
No, I think it's funny.
So that's why I know that lady, while she has a point, it does not apply to real government, because you cannot govern people if there are no people. So there are instances where the government, in terms of their own self-preservation, has to care about the population, because you want to collect tax dollars. You want society to function. When society does not function, society breaks down. The first thing that breaks down is the government. So there are instances where government has to care about the people.
This was the same nigga last week talking about the government's fucked up and we need to protect rappers and their lyrics. The fuck out of here.
So you're disputing what I just
Can
said?
I talk now?
Are you disputing what I just said?
Can I talk now?
Are you disputing what I just said?
Yes.
Acting like the government ain't taking away voting rights, so they gotta go out there and march.
This nigga's ill with it. 1 minute the government's good, the next
Pick and
minute it's
choose
bad.
with. Like, come on now.
So when the government signs your paycheck, is it good or bad?
It's always good.
Oh, all right. When the government signs your paycheck, was it
government
good or
don't sign
bad?
my paycheck.
So look, I
If
want.
you
I
work
wanna,
for the government signs your paycheck. Is
I
that
don't work
good or
for the
bad?
government.
All right,
If
sir.
you did.
Sir,
But
I
I
let
don't.
you. Sir, I let you talk.
I don't give a fuck. It's not my problem.
Well, he answered. When the government signed his paycheck, the government's not bad.
Hold on,
so there
sir.
are instances when the government is
Hold on,
good or
sir.
bad.
Hold
If
on,
the
sir. I
government
let you
helps you
talk.
take care of your
I let
family,
you talk.
the government is good then, right?
I'll let you talk, right? So I want to get at one thing you said specifically, which was the fuck. You good at
That train came off the track pretty easy, didn't
So
it?
look,
I think I can.
One thing you said earlier
I think I can.
was that
I think I can.
you work for the government, so you put yourself in that position. No. If you actually look at the fucking mandates, the mandates was job wide. It was everybody, private sector, public sector. Joe Biden said if you have more than 100 employees, they have to be vaccinated. They have to be vaccinated. Now, thank God for the Supreme Court. They struck that shit down. But that was Joe Biden's.
And why they struck it down?
Because
these niggas are breaking the law, and we making excuses.
So
for
you
that.
don't try to. And it was funny. It was cute. That you try to. You work for the government. Blah 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 blah. Nah, nigga.
You do.
Everybody was mandated to get that shot under Joe Biden's federal mandate. Everybody was.
Okay. So in
Unlawfully.
in the instance of public
Okay.
health, in this country, since the
There goes the goalpost.
In the
1930s,
interest of public health,
40s,
they can break the law.
in the interest of public health, we have always put laws on the books to protect people, even if it infringed on
Mandates
private
and laws.
business or industry, right? In terms of health and safety with food handling, people didn't want to enforce those mandates in their restaurants. They felt like they can serve however
Apples
they
and
wanted
oranges.
to, do whatever they wanted to, right? And it comes to like, let's say New York City, for example. There were so many people going rogue in their restaurants, doing whatever, people getting sick, people dying from food. They put in a rating and mandate system that you have to get your restaurant inspected by the government and have a rating before you can open. And if your rating does not live up to that standard, you will be closed, despite what you may feel, right? If you own a restaurant in DC and the health department comes in and deems your restaurant not healthy enough to serve food, despite what you may feel or think, or up to what you think your
It's not the
standards,
same thing, bro.
what you think your standards are.
It's not the same thing.
If the government deems your restaurant not safe, they will close it.
It's not the same.
Doesn't matter what your plans were, they'll close your restaurant. So in the interest of public health, we have always created laws, created measures to protect people, despite people's individual rights or what they think they should be able to do. They aren't able to do because guess what? They signed up for this social contract, right? They signed up to get their driver's license. They signed up to pay property tax.
Oh, driver's license are valid
They
now.
signed up.
Driver's licenses are valid.
They signed up to be a part of society. They signed up to be able to say, I want to open this restaurant and people can come in and I can make money for it. So if you signed up for that social contract, you also signed up to be regulated. So if you're not an off the grid nigga, you don't make your own money, you don't grow your own food, you don't live on your own ranch, you decided to live in the city, participate, sign that social contract that you did, you are subject to the rules that go with that social contract. So by all means, if you're ready to live off the grid, you don't got to participate in none of this shit. You could do your own thing. Have your garden, teach your kids in the backyard, go out there, hunt for your food. Nobody can't tell you nothing because you're not participating within a society and moving within that social contract. So once you, because you decided to live in the city, drive a Range Rover, work for the government, you signed up for this social contract and you have to live within society's rules when you do that.
So
all you gotta do, the social contract is irrelevant because everything you talking about that you're trying to cop for and defend right now was illegal. So obviously it didn't fit in the social contract.
especially not this government because we have a fucking constitution.
What was it?
Exactly.
What was illegal?
The shit the Supreme Court just shot down. That's why the Supreme Court shot it down, because it's unlawful. So go ahead, Norman. Say what you were going to say.
Bottom line is this.
So now y'all ruled by the Supreme
Norman's
Court
talking
now?
now.
Hold on.
Norman's talking.
It's my turn.
You ruled by the Supreme Court now?
The
my turn.
Constitution in this, the
Supreme Court is the
Constitution of the
government.
United States is
So
this
now you
social
trust the
contract
government?
that
Hold
you're
up.
talking about.
You
So
see-
what we're saying is, based on the social contract that you're sitting here copping for, they didn't do it right. It was unlawful. The Supreme Court struck it down. So everything that you're talking about under the construct of what we supposedly signed when we came into society and decided to live in the city, they still didn't abide by that rule either,
So
and
hold
that's
up.
why the Supreme Court shut it
So
down.
hold up.
So you're copping for some bullshit.
So hold up.
Go.
So bottom line is this, man. Bottom line is this. Bottom line, when I was born,
You're laughing, but that's reality.
when
bro.
I was born, the Civil Rights Act was law, right? And the Civil Rights Act.
Slavery at one point was law.
Hold up. The Civil Rights Act
What are you talking
says
about?
the social contract I was born into says, according to the Civil Rights Act, says you cannot discriminate on somebody for medical, religious, gender, race, any of that. You can't do that. It also says that you don't have the right to know someone's medical information without their consent. That's the social contract I was born into. So what they're doing right now is totally against that. It's against the law, and I don't stand for it.
Simple.
so
Have you ever seen anybody criticize the Amish community or the Sikh community, right? In terms of dealing with laws or things of that nature. You know why?
Because we don't deal with them. We're nowhere near them.
They do not participate in society the way we do. They actually stand on their moral, religious principles, and they remove themselves from how we operate. They still riding horse and buggies. They still wearing top hats with the curls. They're not doing technology. They're not doing the internet.
That doesn't have nothing to do with nothing.
Talk about all that shit in your final thoughts. Let's talk about Jeezy and Shorty and the baby that they have.
It absolutely does.
You just said we can't discriminate based off of gender.
It absolutely does have something to do with it. Because
so talk about it in your final
people
thoughts.
saying that this social construct did not exist. Oh, it exists because people live it right now.
We didn't say it don't exist. We said they were illegal.
You can drive
you
to
about to make a mute point. We didn't say it don't exist. We said what they did was illegal.
You can drive to community.
Can you talk about the illegal part?
You can drive to
because that's all we care about.
You can drive to communities right now.
But what about the illegal part?
He's not going to do it.
One day we didn't say it doesn't exist. We agree with you. It exists.
Just because you don't
want me
to talk about it doesn't mean.
But we agree with you. It exists. You said we said it don't exist.
We're agreeing with you. It exists. I'm not on the show to talk to you.
But the part that they just did is illegal.
I'm not on the show.
So talk about that.
I'm not on the show to talk to you. I'm talking to the audience.
Yeah, but you're telling people some shit that we already talked about. We all agree with you. It exists.
You have to recognize
how
we live in society, right? There are literally people in 2022.
All I gotta recognize is the motherfucking law.
living without technology, living without going to restaurants, living
it's
without
all a choice. We can do that. We know. We agree.
It's all choice. No one is going to their communities,
and with us choosing, they still broke the law.
No one is going to
says the Supreme Court.
If you a Democrat, you a bussy boy.
Next topic. Nobody gives a fuck.
No one is
drop a bomb and next
no one
topic.
is going. So you can't filibuster me like
just
you think
put it in your final thoughts because we don't give a fuck about this social contract.
So I'm not talking to you.
But I'm
talking to my audience. I'm not talking to Kirk.
You're telling people that already know too because we all know. We said it agree.
So I'm talking to my audience. So audience,
you told your audience that we said it don't exist.
So understand their communities.
You lied to the audience.
Who don't care about these mandates because they're not affected. The government is not going to their communities and trying to mandate them because they are separate from how we live in our communities. This is 2022.
You win. Next topic.
It's not being mandated. They'll make you believe that, oh my God, everybody, they banging down their doors trying to make them take a shot. No, nigga, this is what you signed up when you decided
that was perfect.
to live within this society. This is what you signed up for.
Give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about you.
And I don't give a fuck about Steel. I don't give a fuck about
Raheem
because y'all gonna get this shit. You know what I'm saying?
All right, what's the next topic?
So I'm not fucking finished.
Bruh, you are.
No, I'm not. So Kirk Keys, what you don't understand. This is my podcast, Kirk. I can talk as much as I want to on my podcast. So if I feel I want to get my point off on this particular topic, that's what I'm going to do.
Done.
Nah, you don't get to determine when I'm done with my points. That's what doesn't happen on this show is you don't get to determine when I wrap my points up.
Wrap us up.
You could go on and on about whatever you want. I'm not going to tell you to wrap something up if you're trying to express yourself, right? So I'm going to show you that same courtesy. You show me that same courtesy on my show. So let's not do that.
Real quick, nobody ever shows anybody that courtesy.
Yeah, we do. Yes, we do.
And now let's say he wants it. Keep going.
Because y'all don't.
Get to your point. Get to your point. We just trying to get to the next topic because it's time. We've been talking about this shit for 2 hours.
Whenever I ever told you, nah, nigga, wrap up what you talking about.
No, we all
time we've said let's move it to the final thoughts. We said let's move it to the final thoughts so we can get to the next topic.
It's different between jumping in, pointing like you banter back and forth, but I would never tell you, Kurt, wrap it up. We going to the next shit. Or I don't want to hear that shit.
We've done that plenty of times. And
No,
what
we haven't.
And the only thing we said we don't want to hear is you lying on us because you said we said the social contract don't exist and we said it does, but they broke the law in it, and you haven't talked about that.
So the ironic part is,
we just want you to talk about the topic.
You just previously criticized the government,
criticized it, but
and
it
played
exists.
a clip about us not trusting the government, and then your very same proof of the next thing being
government
unlawful,
broke the law. Yes.
You quoted the government to prove your point.
Because the government broke the law.
That's why I bust out laughing right before you played the clip of the lady telling you never trust the government.
But
So I agree. You shouldn't trust the government. Exactly. It's the person that works for the government who says you shouldn't trust the government, and we're talking about a government that broke the law. So definitely we shouldn't trust it. Come on now, that's crazy. Yeah, I do, because we still have to live under that construct that you're talking about.
First
like,
point was
you want somebody to sound dumb.
I'm gonna let y'all argue this out.
Your
Go ahead.
second
Because the
point
crazy
was
thing is he wants
trust
somebody
the
to-
Supreme Court, a conservative Supreme Court.
That was my point.
Right now,
That was my point.
trust them. That makes no fucking sense.
So the point of the matter is,
Don't trust them on this, but right back door. Go ahead, trust them.
you're not gonna make somebody sound stupid, bro. At the end of the day,
I'm not trying
you
to make
still
you
have to
sound
live
stupid.
under a
I'm just
construct. The
pointing out-
construct
I'm
that
just
you are
pointing out the
clarifying that
irony.
we have to live under still broke the law. Is the point. The point is, I don't fuck with the government at all, but we still have to live under a government, right?
Who sets the
So
laws?
it's us living under that government, the laws that were set, that government that you trusting right now, that you cape for every day, the specific president that's in place, the policy that they put in place was illegal. Says the Supreme Court, the higher governing body of that nigga that you cape for every day on this show. So that's what I'm talking about.
You trust him when it's convenient.
No, it's
for
not
you.
about trusting whether it's convenient. It's about there are still laws that were set in place, and this joint is still already so fucked up in this construct that we talking about. But the laws that were in place, they even went beyond those and said, we're still gonna get beyond y'all and past y'all. And there are people out here who are like, nah, that's crazy because y'all can't do that because I still have a life that I respect and I still want to fight for. And it's niggas like you who are like, nah, bruh, they gotta do that shit. Let them do that shit. And that's what I'm saying. That's crazy because we already live in a system that's fucked up, and they trying to fuck it up even worse, and you caping for that shit. So you can keep going on and on if we want to keep going on, and I'll keep making it you look worse and worse. But I really don't want to do that. I would rather go to the next topic. You don't think you look worse, but it's cool. I don't need you to know how you look.
I was just pointing out the irony of.
I know the irony. I know it is ironic. Life is ironic.
You trust a conservative.
You play that shit every Wednesday at your karaoke that I attend. I attend your karaoke. I'm on your podcast, right?
You trust a
I
conservative.
attend your karaoke where they play ironic.
You trust a
Life is ironic.
conservative-led Supreme Court to have
Fuck
your
what you
best
talking
interest.
about, boy?
White people who have never
Shit,
had
wow.
our best interest in mind ever.
Next
right?
topic. Fuck.
Those folks, when it's convenient, yeah, I trust the Supreme Court. That's the land, law of the land. Mister, we follow. That's what you follow, right? The law of the land. Let's go to the next topic.
Y'all niggas loud as shit. Yo, I got the gloves right out in the fucking garage.
Hey,
We can
You
do
already,
this live.
I practiced last night. You seen me.
Oh, you and Jamar last night?
What's up?
Oh shit. Y'all niggas crazy as fuck. All right, let's go to the next topic.
From 24 hours ago.
I want to preface it. I want to give some
I
context.
know you probably had to go his body yesterday. He was unruly.
We fought yesterday too.
Oh, goddamn. It was in my
In
car
real
fight.
life, this nigga drove off on us in the middle of the street still.
I gave them niggas the rest of the 1738.
Like, damn, bro, you gonna make sure we safe? Damn. We laughed about that as he was driving off. We said, Dorman ain't shit. This gonna let us
Friends
fight
like
and,
you
and
need-
drive us
They
off.
already drunk fighting, and he gives them 1738.
Yeah, that nigga's terrible.
Yo, finish it out.
I ain't drink that shit. I wasn't drunk. That wasn't my problem.
You's a nigga.
I don't dispute that. I don't dispute it. Tried and true. So look, okay. This is gonna be another fucking barn burner topic.
No, this one not. I think we.
This was actually debunked. That's why I feel like we turned into Hollywood Reporter today.
Well, it's okay. So it's
I ain't want to
debunked.
talk about this joint. I ain't give a fuck.
It's debunked, but it's not debunked because they never said that it wasn't true.
That she stated it wasn't true, and they named the girl a girl's name.
We don't know if it's a girl or not.
They do know.
It's
They
Monaco.
named the girl
Oh, they did.
Monaco. It's a girl. She was in People
That could be a
magazine.
boy.
Said they named her Monaco. It's a girl.
No, they said they named the child Monaco. I've looked up every. Okay, let me get into it. Young Jeezy and Jenny
I ain't
Mai.
even look the shit up on it.
Young Jeezy and Jenny Mai recently had a. Young Jeezy and Jenny Mai recently had a baby,
You say you didn't research before the show.
and there were
When you
Right when we got on air.
rumors going around or allegations going around that Young Jeezy and Jen and Mai were going to raise their child as to be gender neutral. So that's the next topic I want to get into, because whether or not they actually did that or not, it's still an interesting topic. So I'd like to get into it. So let's go to the article.
The only thing that would make it interesting, because they're both celebrities. He's black from the ghetto. She's a minority. The only way that story would be interesting if it was them doing it. Otherwise, it's a non-story.
All right, so let's get into it.
Just trying to say they released it. It's a girl.
Jeannie Mai Jenkins. Oh, they did?
Yeah, it's a girl.
Oh, well, this is a non-issue. This is a non-issue. Shit, let me get off of this. Fuck it.
I mean, we could talk about just their relationship in general. How do you feel about it?
Let's make it quick, because we talked about another topic real long that we didn't expect to, and I got somewhere to go tonight.
Oh, shit.
Kurt has a sneaky link.
No, that's
ready
not.
to go.
All right, so we won't.
My man birthday party.
We won't even get into the Jeannie Mai Jenkins. That was, like I said, the rumor came out that they were going to raise their child as gender fluid, and according to you guys, they have come out and said that the baby's a girl. So,
Did you believe that when you heard it?
You thought that about Thug 101? Thug Motivation 101?
I didn't want to.
That's what you thought?
I didn't want to.
Don't disrespect Jeezy like that. He had a run where he was my favorite rapper.
It sounded like some National Enquirer shit when I heard it. It didn't even...
So let's do this.
It didn't make sense.
Let's do this. Let's make it interesting. All right? Cohen, how do you feel about gender fluidity, or people who don't claim a gender?
I feel people should do whatever makes them happy. Whatever gender they feel like they are, whatever sex they want to be, they should do what makes them happy. Because at the end of the day, I've witnessed people go to great lengths to try to hide who they were, and it destroyed them on the inside. And when they finally came out to be who they were, they lived happy lives. They embraced it, right? Because I believe,
even though the suicide rate amongst transgenders is sky high.
I mean, it's gonna be sky high
because they still living in secret.
Yeah, if you know your lifestyle choice is gonna have you ostracized by society, you know you're gonna be forever going through a turmoil, right? Because a lot of times, like my thing is, I think it's nature and nurture involved in people being gay, lesbian, LGBT, all the letters, right?
We ain't talking about all that. We talking about gender fluidity. Gender
fluidity fits into that mode because it's children born with a certain amount of hormones that makes them feel a certain way. We don't get it twisted. We feel the way we feel based upon our hormones that's in our body and some societal structures or pressures that we live under, right? They either align with how we feel or they go against with how we feel. So there are instances of people being born both sexes, one sex, hermaphrodite. It's instances that we know that nature plays a part of how we are sexually based upon how we're born. So to me, I don't see people going to the lengths that they do to hide themselves or do the things that they do for no reason, or on the flip side, advocating for themselves the way that they do for no reason. And if it does not have an effect on my life and my everyday bearing, who I sleep with, my children, I don't care. Like, do what makes you happy, because I'd rather have happy people walking around here living how they want to live versus disgruntled motherfuckers walking around here feeling like society is against them and them having themselves kill themselves or kill somebody else because they feel oppressed or they feel unhappy. So I'd rather everybody be happy. That's how I feel.
Yeah, but okay,
I agree.
So here's my take on it, right? I'm a big advocate for reality. That makes any sense.
I think you like happy people too.
I like happy people, but at the same time,
based on you
can be as happy as you want. But if the sky is blue, I'm gonna call the sky blue.
Yeah. So real quick, that's what I was gonna say. I'm gonna keep it nice and brief. I agree with everything Cohen just said. I want happy people living happy lives, doing happy shit. However, I'm not gonna raise my kid in a fluid type of way. I'm gonna raise my kid how they were born, so that they can be who they are. And if they later decide that they may not be who they are or we perceive them to be when they were born, then go ahead and do your thing on the back end. But I'm gonna raise you based on what you we're born as.
Yeah, but I mean, I kind of see it like people who do shit like that are setting their kids up for the slaughterhouse. Like
the gender fluidity thing, I think the intent is to help them though, because you don't know how they about to grow up in their mind. You're not in their mind, so you don't know what they about to do in their mind. I feel you, but hold on, we're not talking about what a kid said yet, because the kid can't even talk. It's just born. So what I'm talking about is they're raising it from a neutral standpoint of, we don't know what you're thinking inside of your brain. We're going to let you develop your own thoughts about what it is that you're doing, and you're going to go on to do what you do. And if you end up wanting to be transgender, gay, straight,
there's danger in
whatever.
That. There's danger in that.
I
because
agree, but
when you
I actually don't agree.
When you don't frame your kids, right? When you don't frame your kids and make reality the main source for their mental function, you're fucking them over, right? Because you're leaving them to the world, and you're leaving to the same fucked up people that's been fucking people up for at least 1,000 years.
I agree.
Right? You're leading them to the wolves. Dude, my son is a boy and my daughter is a girl. I'm not gonna deviate from that. Why? Because there is a movement going on right now to neutralize, especially our community, to neutralize us. So if you don't put extra on your kids right now and be extra with them and let them know what the fuck is going on out here, they're going to be lost. Dude, people are chopping off their penises and mutilating their vaginas and cutting off their titties and killing themselves later in life, because those same feelings that they have don't match up with their scientific makeup. That's why the suicide rate is high as fuck. Well, my son is a boy. He know he a boy. Well, no matter who the fuck he want to fuck when he grow up, which I definitely have something to say about too. Regardless of that, I'm not gonna let you think you're a girl when you're a boy. Period.
So
that's ridiculous.
Let's get into the reality piece that you said, right? So are you gonna teach your kids that gay people don't exist, or transgender people don't exist, or gender fluid people don't exist? Because all of these type of people have existed for thousands of years before we say, quote unquote, it was a European thing, or each culture, even when they developed separately, they had words in their language for gay, lesbian, gender fluid people before the convergence of, we can even start like 1600s, before white people started contacting other people and whatever, right? I'm not finished. These cultures had terms, language, words for these people that existed in their culture. Whether it was culturally accepted in one culture or culturally shunned in another culture, the people existed. So if we talk about reality, in the history of mankind, these things have always existed. So I'm happy that we're at a point in society we've developed to have tolerance of people who live differently from us. Because that's what it really comes down to. Because this whole thing of, it's definitely forces attacking black men, right? Trying to hold us down from realizing our true potential and what we need to evolve to as a people. I agree with you 100%. I do not subscribe to this agenda talk, right? The agenda is stop us at all costs. And I don't think the sexual war on black people that a lot of people like to portray that's going on exists. Because if you look at the actual real numbers of gay, lesbian, whatever in our community, the numbers are less. It's like less than 3% of the total population. And that's probably being generous in terms of numbers. So we can look at the flip side of, are we going to be tolerant? Are we going to be tolerant of people's lifestyles that aren't like us? Like someone raising their child gender fluid, how does that affect you?
So I want to answer your question, right?
Yeah.
So first off, someone raising their child gender fluid, you're right. It doesn't affect me directly, right? But I'm a reader and I am a student of society and I understand political science. So, me personally, I'm gonna do everything in the world to the best of my capability to make sure that my children, if it's a boy, he gonna be a man. If it's a girl, she gonna be a woman. Why? Because I understand the chessboard. The chessboard is get as many masculine black males out the way so you don't have to worry about them. And to the best of my ability, I'm gonna make sure that my son is a masculine man, because that is what's necessary for competing in the world that we live in. I don't give a fuck what anybody says here. Men still run this world. And the more men that other groups can get out of the way of that other group only benefits that other group. The more black men you can put in heels, the less you got to worry about them running up on you or running away from you because they in heels.
I don't know. The ones, the gay men I grew up around in the Southeast.
You keep saying gay.
They're freaky shooters.
They was.
You keep saying gay.
So
You keep saying gay.
So even
I'm talking about a man being a man.
So masculinity is actually gender fluid, right? Because it's some women that I know are more masculine than some of the men I know. So even
Enlarge?
We're not talking about enlarge. I'm talking about.
Well, that's all I care about. We're not talking about enlarged, then what are we talking about?
We're discussing.
It's raining.
We're discussing.
It's raining men. Hallelujah, it's raining men.
That's right. We're talking about this effect in society, how this affects a society, how does it affect our culture, right? So by and large, that has no effect on our culture because by percentage rate, you're talking about issues that are affecting less than 3% of the population.
Yeah, but it's growing.
So you can't use the by and large argument to support yours, and then when you actually look at the real statistical numbers in our community is affecting less than 3%. That's not by and large.
Yo, when you find out you have cancer, right? Are you gonna wait until the fucking tumor grows to where it's unstoppable, or you gonna cut it out when it's small?
So
I'm just asking. Are you gonna wait?
So are you comparing? So I don't even want to put you on record. With that.
No.
I don't even want to put you on record. With that.
But he didn't even stand by it.
Yeah,
that's just wild. I already know what
I'll go on record. I'll go on record. It is listen. Not producing masculine men is a cancer to society. I'm on record for saying that.
I like how this actually ties in with y'all's last joint and how they kept trying to say that it's what was the specific word that they was trying to use? It's ruining the community. On the show that y'all did yesterday that ain't aired yet.
Yeah.
It's ruining the community having single parent homes basically. And they try to act like it's not a good thing, but it's not ruining the community. If it's not good for the community, then it's bad for the community. If it's bad for the community, what is it doing?
Like it's worse.
Ruining the community. People don't like putting words to things that are what they are.
It's worse.
I don't get it.
It's worse for a straight black man in corporate America trying to be bosses and superiors and things, trying to emasculate him, or him having to temper who he is to fit into that society. That's a much worse epidemic than trying to litigate masculinity in our community, right? Because there's a lot of research done on that that's saying people are gonna be who they are. Like kids in church, they try to send them to conversion churches, therapy, all these things, and guess what happens? They end up being who they are, or they end up as sport coats or closet dudes, and they end up having families and wives and end up destroying that part of the social fabric, destroying families because they've been trying to force to be something they're not. And they have a whole family that gets broken up because they're secretly dating men, which they should have did from the jump because that's who they were. So if we're gonna really talk about epidemics and things that are destroying black families, us encouraging people to stay in the closet for some weird ideal that we're trying to keep up, or some weird morality or some standard that some of us believe in and some of us don't, versus letting people live their lives the way they want to, enjoy themselves, raise healthy families, have healthy households and positive mental health statuses because they get to be who they are. I would rather live in that type of world.
I feel you. I'm with you, honestly. Like I'm not the kind of guy that's like, let's ostracize this group of people or shame this group of people or not allow this group of people to exist in our society because of their detriment. At the end of the day, I think happy people make healthy societies. And so if they can be who they are, they can do what they do, they might be a little happier. I think we need. I almost said some type of regulation to it, but like you can't regulate no shit like that. Let people be who they are.
Think about these. We can use something.
But I do. Oh no, what it was that I wanted to say was how he feels like there's this agenda, and he put specifically to the black community in there, and I think you feel like you disagree with it based on numbers wise, and I kind of disagree with it too. I don't think it's targeted to the black community, but I do think, by and large, because we exist in this society, and this society is so weird and fucked up by YT people culture, that we start to take on those traits and things like that and follow what they do as if it's right. And I don't think that it's right, and we need to take our own culture into our own hands and do it our own way. I do think all of that is necessary, because even if they're not specifically targeting us, they're doing it to everybody. We have a certain power that they know that we have, that I don't think we yet know that we have, and until we know that we have it, we're going to allow them to continue to like stifle it and us not to use it. And the more powerful black men that we have, like he just said, and the more women that we have bearing powerful black men fruit,
and I like to interject
it
because
goes hand in hand. Like that helps build the culture.
I want to give it some context, right? Because yesterday on the podcast we recorded last night, we talked about 2-parent households and single-parent households. And my point is that what we don't see is that we're going to have more of an uptick of less than masculine boys growing up, especially in the years to come. Because when you have 80% of black households headed by women with no man in the picture, right? Or a man that you see every other weekend, you got to understand who's influencing your kid. If your kid is growing up with a mom every day, looking at what women do, hanging out with his mama, his aunties, and his grandma every day, his whole mentality is going to be feminine.
I can agree with that, but that's not what we were talking about.
No, but I'm building up to my point, right? So my point is that you're going to see more and more black boys coming out gay, choosing the feminine route. Hold on, because what they're witnessing every day, they're witnessing, quote unquote.
So you saying being raised by your mom?
Hold on.
A chance of coming out gay?
No.
That's what they're
witnessing. Well, yeah, what they're witnessing is strong, independent women winning in life, and they're also witnessing.
that has nothing to do with you.
Hold up, man. Why you cutting me? You the main one crying about being cut off.
Go ahead, play it. Do your thing.
So what we're seeing right now is a lot of black boys growing up in a world where they don't even see a benefit to masculinity. Because the masculine black man at the job, or the black man at the job who speaks out, he's shunned for speaking out. He's shunned for going against the system. So what a lot of kids do by default is they fold. They say, fuck it, I might as well just pop my pussy. Seems like an easier life. That's the subconscious with a lot of these kids, and I'm telling you, it's going to get worse and worse.
What kid?
It's going to get worse and worse. The more we don't address the fact that we don't have 2-parent households. The kids aren't getting the masculine energy and the feminine energy as a balance, and they're not seeing what a balanced life is about. I'm not saying that everybody born in that situation is going to end up like that, but when it's overwhelmingly like that, you're going to get more numbers the other way, because it's dominated by femininity. Black households are dominated by feminine energy, and that's a problem.
So by your logic, statistically, we should have a lot more homosexual black men based upon the crack era, 80s and 90s, because we're in 2022. So if you compare the statistics of people identifying gay, straight, lesbian, LGBTQ, all those things that you say this example trauma would cause, the numbers are 3 to 5%, the same. And we have 25 years roughly of data, because we have 2 generations that have been living in this raised by mama, grandma scenario you're talking about. 2, have you ever actually talked to a gay person right? Because how you're saying is like, that has no bearing on who you are sexually attracted to, whether you live with your grandma, your mama, you live with an Eskimo, whatever. You know what the fuck you like. If you like boys, you like boys. If you like girls, you like girls. If you grew up in a household with your grandma, right?
Most gay men I've talked to, right? And I have several gay friends. I sound like a white man. Black friend.
Yeah, that's
But hold
good.
up. Most gay men I've talked to though, at the end of the day, when you really talk to them, at the end of the day, bro, somebody touched them. Somebody molested them to get them on that path. For the most part, in large.
You're a statistics guy. That doesn't bear out anywhere.
Are you sure about that?
No, I know that doesn't bear out anywhere.
How you know?
Nowhere. Nowhere does that bear out.
How you know?
Of course he knows. He's a Democrat. He knows.
He's been touched.
I mean, just Google it right now.
Trust the science.
No, you trust your Google it. that bears out nowhere. Two, because you know what you're sexually attracted to. Now, if someone gets molested at a young age and they end up being attracted to both sexes, because so they have an urge, they like men because they've been touched by a man, sexually stimulated, or in the sense of a woman, they were touched by a woman, so they get sexually stimulated by a woman. That happens within gender or outside of gender, right? Because your body's gonna react to that regardless. So I'm not. Yeah, you're a kid.
Okay.
So, and two, let's be real. Let's give our no one can if you know what you want sexually, no one can turn you gay, right? You don't get hey Johnny, you can get a $60,000 paying job if you just taking in the butt a few times and that's what it is. No, people are not turning gay because of societal pressures to be gay. That's not.
Adults aren't.
Yeah,
kids are.
It's actually, but he was speaking from
I was talking about kids.
But
Yeah,
you're
'cause
talking
you said
about,
they were
but you're
touched
talking
as
about
kids.
when they're talking the age 60, where they're deciding what they want to be in society. They're no longer they're young adults deciding what their sexuality. That's 16, 17, 18. That means you're getting a job, you can go fight in a war. You're becoming a man.
They're deciding that at that age, but they still, it's usually a byproduct of something that happened at a younger age, is what I think he was saying.
So Kurt, we work with children a lot, right? Mm-hmm. And one thing over the past 10 years, I've noticed personally that you can tell which ones.
That's also true.
Yeah, are headed towards alternative.
I think that's 50-50.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say too.
Yeah.
From my own perspective of a kid growing up, and seeing them too, because you could tell when we was kids.
Yeah.
So from our own perspective growing up, and then as an adult looking at it too, you can tell a lot of them, but there is another portion that comes out after the fact. They hit it better. They hit it better.
All I'm asking is because we can notice all the trends.
But I do think
we can notice all the trends from
not
the 60s.
all of them. I don't think all of them have been touched.
Yeah.
But I do think there are. I think that all of the shit, if you ask me personally, because I don't pay attention to those types of statistics. I don't even know if they got those types of statistics. I literally just tried to look it up just now. They don't ask how many homosexuals in the world have been touched.
It doesn't
it's not a
fit
thing.
the narrative.
But I feel like all of that should be 50-50. I really do. I've heard tons of people, like you said, who say they were as children. And then I've heard tons who may be like, nah, I feel like this is what I always thought when I was born. Blah,
think
blah, blah.
about the
And
environment
they think that they were born that way. And I don't know whether they were or whether they weren't. I can't prove it. It's not my testimony to be able to know what I felt or how you feel when all of that is the case. So I can't speak to it, and I can't tell if somebody else's.
But let's look at this logically. Let's look at this, right? Okay. Since the 60s, right? There's been a bunch of things that have gone up in the black community. The prison rate.
Blame that on the gays.
Hold on. The divorced parent rate, right?
Blame that on the gays.
So when you got a large portion of women, right, fucking with niggas that's been in the pit, and I'm not saying all niggas that been in the penitentiary are suspect. I'm not saying
it on the gays.
But what I'm telling you is, we have a cocktail for disaster. We have a cocktail for disaster.
Cocktail for disaster. Shut up and go to final thoughts, dog.
That's what you want, a cocktail for disaster.
All right, final.
I dress myself in Ultra Suede. I dress myself in cashmere. Yeah, I dress myself in $100 Clean I wear a $15,000 Rolex. I got Mercedes-Benz, Rolls Royce, the biggest house on the biggest hill on the biggest side of town.
Really took the cake with that one, buddy.
That was fun.
All right, let's get to the final thoughts. Kirk, what you got?
Kanye West is a simp. It is facts. It's unfortunate because that's my man, but it is facts. He saved a hoe once. He trying to save a hoe again. He about to be Captain Save a Hoe. Yeah, I don't trust the government, and I still live under a government. So the fuck what? It ain't an option. We on the United States of America. We on Earth. It's governments all over the goddamn place. Yeah, you can live out on, off the grid, all that good shit. But the reality is, I was born into somewhere that I want to make an impact on. So I'm going to have to live by that construct. I recognize that. But that don't mean that I'm going to sit here and watch that construct break the law, especially with my body while I'm here on this earth. And so do what you want to do, but be wise with it and understand that it affects other people too. So don't be stupid, please. Where the music go? And then what was the last topic? Gender fluidity. Again, do what you want to do. But I'm gonna raise my kid based on how my kid is born. And then if my kid decides it wants to do what it want to do their thing, player. Whatever. I tried to raise you in the light.
Oh no.
But,
There's a man down.
Those are my final thoughts.
Kurt with the high final thoughts.
They ain't even a high final thoughts. They the tired final thoughts. If you made it this far on the podcast, you heard my thoughts already. So that's that.
Cosby.
First of all, shout out to everybody who's listening on the live this week. We got a lot of fire content coming for you. You guys been wanting more stuff from us, more content. We got a new show for you. We about to get an editor to get some more clips out, so y'all can get much more of this flavor, this fire, this situation.
I'm not gonna hit the button.
And you petty. Go ahead, do it. You petty.
It's raining men. Hallelujah, it's raining men.
One would say he has men on his mind a lot. He really quick with that button.
Hey, I don't shine shoes anymore.
On to my final thoughts. When it comes to Kanye West, recently catching a red-eye flight to meet Ray J to get a laptop that allegedly had a 15-year-old Ray J, Kim Kardashian sex tape on it, and then being extorted for what he had to pay, like $1 million to get it back?
Something like that.
Yeah, he's holding the biggest giant L, in the universe. Because let's get one thing straight. You picked her. That was a perfect drop right there. Kanye, you picked her. You know everything that came with being with a Kardashian. You saw Ray J go through it. You saw Lamar Odom go through it. You saw Nick Cannon run through it. You saw the game run through it before you got to it. You made your bed. Now lie in it.
Oh no. There's a man down.
I have some empathy because I hate to see, homes break up. But if it's not a happy home, if it's not a healthy home, if it's not going to serve their family, their children to the best of their ability, it may be better for them to co-parent. Because if you think about what type of environment are the kids in, what type of environment the family in, if they pulling stunts like that, it's like, come on, bruh. Come on, bruh. Talk about some shoes. Talk about some clothes. Talk about some technology. Stay in your lane, brother. Don't put no more of your family business out there, because the more you put it out there, the more people are going to focus on it, and the more potential it has to go wrong.
You can't handle the truth.
So you do awesome in your lanes. Stay in your lanes, brother. You a billionaire being in your own lanes. Stay there. When it comes to, we briefly talked about, pandemic, global pandemic. I just implore people to do your own research. Follow what you feel is right in your heart. What's best for your body, what's best for your family. But recognize what you signed up for. When you decided you want to live in your house, you want to drive a Mercedes Benz, you want to send your kids to good schools, you want to eat at great restaurants. You want the high life, right? The things that come along with that. It's called the social contract. The social contract you sign with the other people around you that we're going to do our best to keep each other safe. We're not going to kill each other. We're not going to rob each other. We're not going to get each other sick. We're going to make this thing function so we can continue to live the way we want to live. And if mandates come along with that, they've always come along with that. Do your history. Do your research. There are people who decided they didn't want to participate in this social contract. They exist right now. You ride up 30, 40 minutes where we are in Hydesville, go to Amish community. They ain't participating in our shit. They still riding horses and buggies down the side of the road. They don't have television. They don't have smartphones. They're not participating in this current society because they did not want to sign this social contract. You get what you signed up for. You get what you pay for. When it comes to gender fluidity, I'm always been an advocate of, I want people to be happy, live a happy life, enjoy yourselves, do what makes you happy as long as you're not infringing on other people. And who people decide to love, who people decide to be, who people want to identify with does not infringe upon me. So have at it. I'm going to raise my family. I'm going to pour into my kids, instill values that I think they need. And I'm going to teach them to be tolerant of other people's lifestyles, whether they agree with it or not. I don't agree with a lot of things that go on, but I'm tolerant of it because I'm not in their shoes. I don't have their situation. I don't have their background. I don't have their emotions, their feelings, their physiology. I literally don't exist in the same body they exist in, so I can't tell them what to do with that body. So I implore everybody, man, want to exist in a society where people are happy, where they're not thinking about killing themselves or killing you. That's my final thoughts.
Yo, shout out to everybody, man. Final thoughts. Yo, off the break. Kanye West. I love Kanye West's music. I like his sneakers. I like his fashion concepts. I like it all.
We both got on these niggas got on Yeezys in here. Now Kurt be having you. Not today, but
I mean, look,
make some new fire sneakers, nigga.
The nigga's a simp. It is what it is. You can't go. Remember that? What was that movie where you said you can't go full retard? You can't go full Jason Bourne for these hoes. You just can't. Kanye West hopped on the jet to go get this laptop, and she kissed the nigga right in his face. Fellas, let that be a lesson. You have the glory. These women don't want to grow old and die alone. Understand that. When you deal with women, understand your bargaining chip. You are the key to them not dying alone. So don't accept anything less than what you deserve. I would advise any man under the age of 45 at this point in society to just play the field. You hit 45, that's when you start thinking about, okay, I could die soon. Let me find at least a decent one to settle down with so I can chill and die in peace. That ought to be your mindset at this point. Because not only does the pool have pee in it, it has shit, it has blood, it has chlamydia, it has AIDS. It's all in the pool, I'm telling you. What was the next topic? Yo, what was the next topic? Goddamn.
Gender fluidity.
Gender fluidity.
And
mandates.
Mandates.
You know my stance on the mandates. You can mandate these nuts. Real
You heard.
men.
It's raining men. Hallelujah, it's raining men.
What else would you like them to mandate?
Listen, man. I'm gonna tell you one thing. I don't agree with everything America does, but one thing I do agree with is the motherfucking Constitution. That piece of legislation,
The edited one?
yeah, of course the edited one, not the original one. You fucking serious? Nah, for real though.
You guys in the Constitution have this specific date.
If you're an American citizen and you don't reference the Constitution to your day-to-day life, then you're going to be a victim. You might not be a victim of the current crisis that's been put on us right now, but here's the thing: one day it's going to affect you. So instead of shunning people who don't want to get a jab that don't work anyway, you should support them. Because one day, something that you don't agree with is going to come into question, and you're going to be shit out of fucking luck. Because you sat back and watched China, Russia, or whoever the fuck is behind this shit that's going on right now.
China.
You sat back and watched it and you agree with it because of your political affiliations.
China.
See, one thing that my good friend Cohen didn't say is that I don't have no political affiliations.
Green Party.
I don't have none. But I also know some bullshit when I see it. And coincidentally, or whatever, however the fuck you say it,
COVID.
it appears that the Democratic Party are the ones right now.
That goddamn computer got COVID.
The Democratic Party is the ones right now who are inflicting all this shit on people, and I don't fuck with it. So, Nancy Pelosi, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, you know what I think about those people. When it comes to gender fluidity, I think it's a crock of shit. I think that human beings in general need a dose of reality. If you are born with a penis, you are a fucking man. If you are born with a vagina, you are a woman. I don't give a fuck what your mind says. If you can't look down between your crotch and understand what you've been given by the universe, God, nature, Mother Nature, whatever you want to call it, then you need psychological help. And this is not an insult. This is advice. Your crotch, or what's in between your legs, is the realest thing reality could ever tell you. See, I don't buy this whole concept of how I feel right now determines this and determines that. No, my nigga. I can't wake up in the morning and say, yo, my body is telling me I'm a billionaire. Where's my limo driver? The limo driver will never show up. They will never show up because I'm not a billionaire. The Uber will show up. It may be a fucking 2002 Nissan Sentra. And I can't get in that Sentra and say, oh, I'm in a stretch limo. What are you talking about, guys? This is not a Sentra. This is a stretch limo. I'm a billionaire. You can't do that. Just like you can't do that with an Uber and a limo, you can't do that with a penis and a vagina.
I wasn't listening now because I don't even know how we just got there.
You just can't. You just can't.
I was listening and it still.
Oh my God.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been this episode of Straight Talk No Chase. For myself, Cosby Digital, and Kirk Keys, we are out of here until next week. Look out for the latest episode.
End that shit now, so end at 12:12. Stop talking. Hit end.
First with the promoter. Like and subscribe, nigga. Fuck you, Kirk.
So special.
nigga. Yes, sir.